Hey everybody, peace and blessings to you. My name is Jere B. I am the EntreMusician, and so are you. The EntreMusician.com is a place where you go to engage, encourage, and empower fellow entre musicians. Those of us who go beyond our instruments and are involved in the business of music. We're involved in the business of taking care of our artistry, taking care of our bands, making sure that everything is on point. We are the EntreMusicians. As you know, all of our videos are sponsored by Vocal. Vocal is the only beverage on the planet which is designed to soothe, refresh, and restore your voice. Launching in the summer. Get ready for it. If you talk all day or sing all night, you definitely want Vocal. I may have some before this video is over. As you know, we have embarked upon a series of videos that are designed to talk about the EntreMusician and their band. If you saw last week's video, we were putting together a scenario by a band leader named Harry and a young lady named Sally. We don't quite know her role yet, but if you go back, we've put together this kind of hypothetical situation. So what we're going to be doing is kind of drilling in some of the concepts that we discussed last time. If you didn't have an opportunity to view that, go back and check it out. So what we want to talk about is organizing your band. So there are only two real models of a band structure that is widely accepted and utilized. That is the leader and the sideman construct. And the second would be a democratic band, of course, majority rules. I have been in a couple situations where there were two leaders, co-leads, and that is very rare for that to be successful. I've seen it work in other models, but generally you wind up eating a lot of popcorn and watching the fight between the two of them. So, if we're going to stay with the structure of one leader and the hired people or the sidemen, depending on what that compensation spells out to, or the band, which is more of a democratic rule. Today we're going to talk about the leader and the sideman, and in this video we're going to hone in on if you are the leader. In the next video we'll talk about you if you are the sideman or sidewoman. But today, if you are the leader, then there are definitely some principles and a mindset that you need to have as the leader of the band. So we introduced this guy named Harry. So they decided that Harry indeed fits all the qualifications of leadership. And so what Harry wants to do first and foremost is lead. You hear what I'm saying? The leader must lead. Okay, the leader must realize first and foremost that the buck stops here. Okay, the leader cannot be insecure. The leader needs to realize that he or she goes beyond the point of playing their instrument well, whether they schedule the rehearsals and teach the songs, whether they write all of the songs. The success of the band is primarily based upon their leadership, and ultimately the failure, if failure should happen, is because he or she didn't do something right, because they did not lead correctly. Now, the best way the leader of the band can lead is by serving. And you serve in two ways. Number one, you serve the vision of the band, and number two, you serve the people, your bandmates. And servant leadership is really the best way that you can get things done. Let me tell you what I mean. Firstly, you have to have a vision. You are the one leader who determines where the band is going. You got a long-term plan and you got a short-term plan or strategy to get there. Again, we ask some hypothetical questions. First of all, are you a cover band or are you an original band? You write your own material? Are you looking to release product, or is this something that you guys are just doing every Thursday night after work to play down at Joe's Cafe? But you still need to lead in that, and we will be doing a video for cover bands as well. But let's just say that you have decided that you have a long-term vision of being this original band. You own your particular genre, whether it's rock or jazz or funk or pop, whatever it is, or you are experimental and you kind of defy genres because you do all of it. Well, you have that plan together and you have it written down on paper. You have dreamed about it. You have thought deeply into what the band will look like in a year, in 3 years, in 5 years. You can hear the music. You can see the band on stage. So you have this vision. And what you want to do now is align yourself with musicians who can adopt and own that vision. Jim Collins, in his wonderful book called Good to Great, said it this way, that you want to make sure that you have the right people in the right seat on the bus. Okay? You are the bus driver, and it's not just come on in and take a seat. No, you want to make sure that you have the right people in the right seat. And that's the only way that you go from good to great. You can be a good band, but a great band, everybody knows their roles. And as the leader, you are the one who is responsible for sharing the vision of the band. You share the vision with them. You share it again. And you share it again. And you share it again. And you get feedback. And you hone it and you see if it lines up with the vision that you have for this band. Now, if it lines up with it and you can utilize the ideas that will work in adopting the process that you want to put forth, absolutely go for it. But if it doesn't work, then now is the time, okay, to say, hey, you are an incredible trumpet player. You are an incredible keyboardist or whatever. And you say, this doesn't line up with the vision of the band. This is not the vision or the heart of it. And cool. Better now than a year and a half from now. Dig that. So the second thing is, once you have that core team in place, these men and women who have come alongside you and you're preparing to put them in the right seat on the bus, the one thing that you want to do is make sure that after they have pledged allegiance or ownership to the vision of it, is that you serve them properly. You serve them. You don't dominate them. You don't boss them around. Now, you would think that would be, why are you even putting this in the video? But I can tell you, some different personality styles, I'm the leader, does more harm than good. I don't walk in the door and tell Lori, I'm the husband. After 23 years of marriage, never worked, never will work. She knows who I am. All I have to do is serve my wife. And in the same way, as a leader, you're serving those who are playing with you, because it's this true collaboration of counting on their principles and values and what they bring to the table musically, spiritually, and otherwise that is going to help make this band what you've envisioned it to be. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you're looking for bandmates who have qualities and skills beyond their musicianship. For example, you have someone who is an incredible musician who can read music perhaps, who can read charts, who can arrange, who have these great ideas about how to arrange the songs and the segues and how the show flows from one selection to the other. Well, sounds to me like you have an obvious music director. Make him or her your music director. Now, we talked about Sally in the first video. So let's just say Sally has those skills. But you want to put Sally in that seat and you want to give her the keys to be able to direct the band accordingly. This is how we sound in the studio. This is how we sound on stage. I'm going to count on you to be the one to listen to who's off. Is that melody off? Is that harmony out of tune? Is there a better way to play that keyboard or horn line? And give that role to Sally and let her decide. And something else should be worked out with respect to that is that everybody should know that Sally's been empowered to take on that role, and there should be whatever compensation. It could be financial, it could be otherwise, but everybody should know that Sally is making X more amount because of her contribution to the direction of the music in the band. whatever that is. But as a leader, be open. No side deals, nothing up your sleeve, no side arrangements, nothing behind anybody's back. That's a true leader. Another thing is, say for example, that you have someone who has a great visual style. They have a great visual eye, or they're technically important. They know sound and they know how things are supposed to be recorded, or they can build websites, or they know marketing. They understand distribution. They understand the business aspect beyond their ability to play drums or whatever they play. And, you want to make sure that we're having these open meetings where, wow, I can really utilize what you bring to the table on that. And whatever that looks like as far as compensation is concerned, make sure that everybody knows it. So then you have some people who are a part of the quote unquote management team in the band. You have somebody who can communicate well, who writes very well, great diction, great grammar. You want to make sure that that person perhaps is the one who, I want to say a little bit more than perhaps, but that person is the one who contacts the venues or contacts the promoters when something needs to be discussed as far as the business is concerned, and he or she has that mindset and has that great people skill that can draw someone else in, which will be an advantage to the band. Empower them, obviously. So again, you've created this management structure, this management team where people are taking ownership beyond their position as kazoo player, bongo player, whatever that role is. As a leader, these are things that you want to make sure that you have in your tool belt as the band is coming together. Also, as a leader, it is wise to understand that you may not be the face of the band, and you've got to be very cool with that. You may be like I am, a drummer, and so your sax player is the face of the band. They are the focal point for primarily all of the songs. People are looking at the saxophone player or the vocalist, and that person will be in the mind of the audience the focus. And when they think about your band, they don't necessarily see you if you're behind a keyboard or if you're behind the drum set. They're going to see that upfront person. And so you have to be very secure in your leadership to empower that, to make sure that that person absolutely shines. Because when they shine, then the band is going to shine. When they're shining and you're making sure that they're shining because they're the vocal point, then everybody's going to relax a little bit. But if you're an insecure leader and you're hung up on, well, how does this make me look? Or how does this make me feel? Or, then believe me, you're not a good leader. And your vision and your ambition is not going to last that long, because people are going to know, well, hey, this is a guy or this is a lady who is insecure, and it's all about them and it's not about all of us. Because even in a band dynamic, it has to be about all of us and not just about you and them. Another thing about being a leader in a band is you have to understand that your role transcends your position. It transcends your instrument, and you have to truly learn how to care. You have to know the people that you are absolutely working with. I guess we can say this if it's corporate or CEO or whatever the case may be. But as far as being the leader of the band, you have to genuinely show that you care about the people that you're working with, the people that you are serving, because that's what's going to get the best out of them. If it's all about rehearsal, charts, performances, studio sessions, and it's all business, but she's married and he's having trouble in his marriage, and she, is just discovered that she was pregnant and can't go on the road anymore, and all of these emotional and or spiritual situations that can surface as people work in a close environment together. Do you really care about those interpersonal things? Do you really care about what's going on in their life, in their family, in their children, in their home? Do you have and share the same principles and values that they espouse. You can be perhaps 5 guys or 5 co-ed band members, and each is on a different wavelength spiritually, or believe or espouse another faith. Does that sit well with everybody? Is that a dynamic that you can talk about? Can you walk together in harmony, knowing that those core differences are in place? I mean, all of these things come into play with being a leader in a band. And you have to go beyond the scope of the business of the band into the interpersonal relationships that develop along the way. And you primarily, as a true leader, will be the one that cultivates those relationships to help them build and to grow. Now, that's primarily it. I didn't get into the day-to-day, which is not my purpose, but I wanted to give you the mindset and discipline of what leadership is about when you are fronting the band. And again, maybe not the focal point of the band, but fronting the band as far as everything is on you. You are the leader. Now, if there are some things that you think that I've left out, I would love for you to comment on them, because we all grow together that way. The EntreMusician.com is all about engaging, encouraging, and empowering each other. And that's what we endeavor to do here and back at the website at the EntreMusician.com. Please like, share, subscribe this video, and let's continue this dialogue. Once again, my name is Jere B. I am the EntreMusician, and so are